Okay, I'm taking a break from my secret project. I look forward to sharing it with you. No doubt you will enjoy the fruits of it regardless. I would encourage you all to have a secret project. Anyway, in my last video, I was told by a commenter they miss the old days where I would do a deep dive into one thing. They said my last video was too chaotic or something. And maybe. I don't know what I'm doing. Honestly, I don't think any of us do. In Carlos Castaneda, he asks the master which path he should take, and Don Juan tells him, all paths are dead ends. The importance is in choosing a path with a heart. So today we're going to do a deep dive. I thank you for joining me this week. I love you all. God bless and welcome. So, in my last video, we looked at a bunch of star forts or just forts in North America. I said in that video I felt as if I had failed because there were so many and I was trying to share as many as I could and couldn't, not in under 30 minutes. And like I said in the intro, someone said I should do a deep dive. And I thought the one that really caught my attention was this Fort Proctor in Louisiana. Already super swampy. And then this fort of pure brick tapering, indicating there's more, totally busted up out in the middle of the water. And it was brand new to me. I had never seen this baby before, really looking futuristic and medieval at the same time, but beyond anything that should be possible in the time period we are told it was built. And we're not just dealing with a building here, we're dealing with land, building land, a topic that is not even discussed in history. Buildings like this, or forts, are not even discussed, really being a nugget to someone like myself that does this research and suddenly discovers it. What a fascinating topic. Who could tire of this? Another commenter said, oh, whatever, this is getting old. This is old? This is so new? I mean, it's old and it's new. I have no doubt I could discover something new every week, and all of us could. We have been taught what they want to teach. That's all. We know what they want us to know. Nothing more. Their path, or curriculum, is only one path, and it's clearly a heartless and stupid path. So this was my thumbnail. God, the resolution is better in this one than the one I used. But anyway, trees growing on top, total ruins, and here a closer look just to show that it's not just brick. I mean, we're bringing steel out here. Again, the civil W is being fought on land. What is this? And it doesn't matter. Even if they told us there was a threat coming from sea, this still doesn't make any sense. It's not possible to build in this time period. There's millions of bricks here, there's steel, and we're not even seeing probably 2/3 of the structure. It looks like it's been through a battle, but they tell us it never saw any action. Okay, we're gonna get into the narrative here in a minute. You see how the land here that it butts up against is star-shaped? Here's a nice look from above. Looks like it was high tide on this day. Look at these fitted pieces, 3 pieces right here, making up this ornament. Not facading. We see some sort of pipe sticking out here, perhaps a chimney. Pretty unbelievable. And here's what you would see if you just floated up to it. Massive, seeming small from above. And we'll check it out on the Google Earth here in a minute. And this is pretty ridiculous. I've already had a little look, but let's see what they have to say after having a little glance. Fort Proctor is a ruined 19th century fort in Louisiana. The fort is on the shore of Lake Borgne. Well, I don't think so. It's clearly in the water. The fort was intended to be part of the fortifications protecting water routes towards New Orleans. At the time, it was built in the 1850s. Why does that sound off? At the time? Why not? It was built in the 1850s. still vague, and this is the trusted source. Due to delays caused by hurricane damage and the Civil W, the fort was never garrisoned. By the end of the Civil W, improvements had been made and the design of the fort became obsolete. Never used, never finished, abandoned. Then we are told, in the 40s and 50s, 19, the fort was fully engulfed by Lake Borg. There we go. Full assimilation. The ruins were a popular place for teenagers. Yeah, out here in the middle of nowhere. One should hope there's no supervision. So that's it. At the time, it was built in the 1850s. The fort was never used. By the end of the Civil W, the fort is completely abandoned. So where's the money coming from? Where is the workforce, the absolutely skilled masons whose time was wasted? What about the tax dollars that were supposedly spent on this fort for nothing? Why does nobody ever talk about this or question whether it should be possible? Built in the 1850s, vaguely, and abandoned. Does that make sense? I mean, let's just be logical. Does that make any sense? Especially here, out in the water? Now let me show you where it is. Here we go. Ye old America. Zooming in. New Orleans. Right here. And I don't know, maybe 30 miles out in the swamp. Not even a good place to build. I mean, if you were really protecting New Orleans, you would build it out here on this peninsula here, perhaps, or this one, and I'm sure there were things here. But let's stay on point. Here, they built it. Here. It's very difficult for me to stay on point, especially when I see all these artificial, super straight canals in the swamp. But let us return to our point of interest. Out here, even deeper in the swamp, in the ocean, we have this Fort Proctor. Now, like I said, I've already had a peek, and it's very disheartening. I showed you this with a cathedral in Paris recently, how they cartoonify fascinating things. In my opinion, a type of censoring to obscure what something actually looks like. Why would you obscure this beautiful fort that we just looked at over and over? I think we are seeing something happening in real time. Again, the obscuring of information take place every day, and it gets worse and worse. And I don't think it's for us. It's for the future. This is the future when someone wants to see Fort Proctor. Now I thought, let's go back in time. Why don't we? Here we can see 2024. Let's go back to 2021. Same thing. 2019. Same thing. Zoom out a little. You can see this blockage here change through the years. Let's go back to 2015, 2013. So they don't want to show this fort. There is an active deception taking place. What else? Why not show us the damn fort? Why not show us everything around the fort? Look how poor this is. Shouldn't things improve? Not wanting to show us much. Let's go back to present times. 2012 is actually pretty good, except the building still giving us this cartoon. And let's bump it up to present times. So in the past, the land looked better. Who knows how long that will last, but not wanting to show us this building. Fortunately, we have plenty of pictures again, and it was just by luck, because I was doing this random video where I tried to share as many old forts as I could. I was able to discover this place. I mean, we can see that it's built with the same intricate brickwork as all fortifications, just beyond massive industrial quality. It sure looks like it was finished at one point. No corners were cut. I mean, look at this metal work, or I don't know what, laid into the brick. This is absolute perfection in every way. And again, seeming industrial. You can see how this is round, and then we have a round section here. Machinery, more like it, from the old world. Here we can see it from above. Again, thank God for pictures and people's drone footage. We're not getting much help at all from the mainstream today. Built in the 1850s, that's it. Coming from officialdom. How about another source? Here we go from fortwiki.com. Built as a square fortified tower surrounded by a square moat, the site was purchased in 1856 and construction began soon after. Very hasty. Tower was never completed. A storm broke out and set back construction, providing a permanent work stoppage. That's it. Nothing to see here. Just some incomplete fort. No pictures offered. So I was hoping to do a deeper dive, but unfortunately that's as deep as the mainstream gets. Let me know if I'm missing something, and I will end with my conclusions. I'm not buying it. This is older than America as we know it. It has all the characteristics of everything that we look at on this channel. It has the same hokey story with way too many gaps, and I can only conclude that this is left over from the old world and has been sitting like this the whole time. It's a good example for everything that we see that is dated back to this time period. Since I have some time to kill, I'm gonna rant, and we'll call that part 2. I guess I want to talk about my views, my opinion on this upcoming vote, the big vote. Now, usually, and for most of my thinking life, it's been clear that the left and the right are both in the pocket of an unnamed faction or group of people. Not much representation of the people, no matter which side of the aisle is in control. Really serving big business. And a part of me would, and perhaps has, resigned from worldly affairs, but a part of me exists dead smack in the middle of it. And I think it's different now. I think it's gotten so bad that people who could afford not to care are stepping up and speaking out. I don't know why anybody speaks out. I think you can't help it. When you know something and have the ability to share it, you probably can't help it. I know it's the case with myself. Heavily silenced. And who owns the media but this faction I speak of, that up until now controlled the narrative in schools, on TV, and now they're losing control. And it really comes down to big business. Our nation is not foreign by the people at this point. It's foreign by big interest. And there's only one person, in my opinion, that's saying it exactly how it is, and that's Bob K. Bob K is calling out this parasite that exists as a handful of corporations calling all the shots, literally. And I say Bob K because I don't even think we're able to say his name. Such a heavy silencing has been placed on him. But if I could say anything, I would say all the things that he's saying. Calling out big pharma, big food, energy, and every other sector that is harming humanity for profit. I find it funny that people are still talking about abortion, the rights to essentially take a life. Great. And that's a whole topic. But how about the rights to not have the government mandate that we are injected with poisons, experimental ones? How about that? How about the rights to not be drugged? That is more important. To her body is secondary to if all of us have the rights to our bodies and what is put into it. And when it comes to immigration, my parents are both immigrants. We're talking about legal versus illegal. That's all. Why are we treated like criminals when we go to the airport as Americans, while somebody else can just waltz across the border and be treated like a saint? Something is wrong. And again, I support Bob K and Mr. T. Thanks for being here this week. I love you all. God bless, and I'll see you soon.